Back in the analog days, in the 70s and the 80s, we were pretty much able to recreate the images that you see by makeup. In other words, some of the stars of the 70s and the 80s were very beautiful looking, very perfect skin, very perfect that kind of thing. Analog allowed us to literally recreate their skin with as much as 85% makeup. So what that means is that you're seeing a caricature of that person from how much we brought the eyes up to the skin. Well, as digital came on the scene, when we sort of lost that generation of resolution, it became finer, so we had to start knocking back our techniques.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Would you mind putting on the wireless mic for the gentleman?
No, not at all.
Philadelphia section.
Oh, did they pay? Ah,
I'll get it down.
okay.
Just
Stick it in. Oh,
This one, that's good.
right here.
We have this issue here sometimes, you didn't wear the lavalier clothes.
Sorry. Okay, so now I have to, I guess I could just hold it. Okay.
Yeah.
So just swing it around. So we had the luxury of using very thick makeup. Okay, so we just really recreated these great looking faces. They just look perfect. Well, when digital came on the scene, we sort of had to knock back our technique to around 60%. You know, we could get away with it. When I started first working in HD about, I think, probably like in 2003 or 2002, I can't remember, that was a real big awakening, because it was, oh my God, we have to literally learn to work at 15 to 18% saturation with makeup on the skin, because beyond that, you can read it. And this became a really big issue with men, because as a society, we never see makeup on men at all. We never see that. But they were wearing as much as 80 to 85% pancake makeup during that time, which is why they look so good. I mean, I'm sure you all have read, in the news in the last few years, or some of the news articles, oh my gosh, look at Cameron Diaz, her face is so broken out, and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. Well, it's, I just do that as an example, because it was very widely reported, because her skin is not always the best looking skin, and it's been difficult to work with. But that is the fact that you can't use much makeup anymore, because you can read it. And this is where it is really important, especially with male skin and African American skin. Those are the two big challenges in HD, because we have to have it to where it can't be read on camera with men, because then you lose the whole context. The viewer goes, oh my gosh, what's going on, with the face. And if you're typically like me, I tend to more or less watch the technical aspects of television, and you can see pierced ears, you can see piercing holes, you can see I'm telling you, some of these guys have to really get on the bandwagon. But my point is, especially on the Hill. Well, it's not just the men. I hate to tell you, it's not just the men, really, because women do have some of their issues. We do have little chin hairs sometimes that happen to pop out. But so the whole rollover of technique and how we apply and how we look at the skin, where we used to look at, well, we're just going to cover it up, we're just going to conceal it, and we're going to just recreate and redraw it and make it look good. Now it's the skin is the canvas, how little can you get away with? It's literally how little can you apply to make that complexion clean enough for camera in HD. And that's a challenge. A lot of the products that we used from, gosh, when I started in it, have completely gone by the wayside. There's a company out there called Graftobian that saw this coming on and decided to develop their cosmetic, their HD foundations and powders, the way camera reads skin, because that is the kind of makeup that you need. You need to be able to have the kind of cosmetics that allow you to make up the skin and yet make the skin look natural. Now, there are some techniques that you have to use that we had to roll over. I could talk for days and days about it, but basically I'm going to do what I call my fast and quick male makeup here, because I work a lot on the hill. I do probably 90% men, and I probably have like 10 to 30 seconds to do a makeup sometimes. So, and then on a good day, sometimes it's like a minute and a half. So I'm very, very fast. From my, my Hollywood years, you learn to work very, very quickly. But the key to this is to be able to have the products that work and allow you to be dead on with your ability to create a clean complexion, because that's basically what you're trying to do, is to create a clean enough complexion that will read very, very nicely on film, as if it was real, and that's not oversaturated. That has to do with your technique. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do hello, my little cue ball. And I picked him for a reason.
I'll give you some light in the back here.
There you go.
But basically, in a nutshell, you need to be able to read skin the same way camera reads skin. And camera balances light at what? 32K? Okay, so that means that in my makeup room, I need to have a minimum of 32K spill on his face. And that's the lowest, that's the bottom of the full spectrum scale, because full spectrum goes from 32K all the way up to 65K, correct? I mean, you still have that white. You get a little more blue at 65, but you want to be kind of right in the middle where it's neither too warm or too cool. So in my makeup studio, I have the ability to go from 32K all the way up to 55K, so it's adjustable. And the reason being is when I'm teaching in my courses, because I teach high-def makeup, is that you have to adjust for the way that the eye reads the tonalities in full spectrum, because not everybody can read full spectrum at 32K. And you and I were talking about this, and it's even different. One eye might read differently than the other eye. So there's that skew that happens. One eye is better than the other. But the rods and the cones in the eyes will vibrate full spectrum at a given temperature. So,
term read that you're using?
huh?
I've never heard that.
See, I'm sorry.
So when you say read, but is that
I'm
a term that
seeing.
makeup artists
When I
use?
say read, yeah, that's our jargon. Reading skin, seeing
But it
skin.
means the way we see it and the way the cameras see
The
it.
way exactly. I'm sorry. I should be more clear.
Makeup, you mean actually see the makeup?
See the makeup. When I see. So I have found over the years when I've been training artists, and I'll use the grayscale because I'll put a color and I'll put a grayscale version of it. And it's very, very interesting because you can have 4 or 5 makeup artists standing there looking at the same color in grayscale, and one will be able to decipher color in thirds from one step to the other, but be able to do it in thirds. The average is 1.5 steps saturation. So that tells me that there is a big skew in how people read color, or how they read tonality, or how they, I'm sorry, see. I'm sorry, I'm so wired. Please forgive me with that. So
Which is a subjective thing. Everybody sees, is what you're saying. Everybody
Yeah.
sees something a little.
they're going to see it different. So to bring them more into line to where they see that full saturation in both the warms, cools, and neutrals, the values, I have them typically look through at 45K, because 45K is not too cold and it's not too warm. It's just like right in the middle, and everybody seems to be on the same level to be able to see not only all the values from light to dark, but all the temperatures from warm, neutral, and cool. For years and years before we had high def, we didn't worry too much about the neutral zone because analog didn't really register neutral. It just was either warm or it was either cool. So we have like a whole generation of makeup artists that don't know how to read neutral skin tones. And they are out there. Out of every 20 people that you sample, in their undertones, we're just talking about whether they're warm, cool, or neutral. And this is something that you're born with. You can't change that. That's inherently you. I mean, you can get light and dark with a suntan or get pale in winter or whatever. Your value is going to change. But your temperature, the undertone of your skin is never going to change. But out of every 20 people that you sample, 8 will be warm, 9 will be warm, 8 will be neutral, and 3 will be cool. Cool is your least occasional undertone. And for many, many years, makeup artists said, well, you know, they're not warm, then they're cool, which neutral people have equal amounts of warm and cool tones in their skin. So they register neither warm, neither cool, they're neutral. So, yeah.
So those are characteristics of the skin, nothing to do
Yes.
with the lights lighting it.
Nothing doing with the lights. We're not,
Color temperature for both is a little confusing. So, yes.
I'm talking about lighting. I'm talking about the light spill on your talent when you're making them up.
The color of the skin, though.
The color of the skin. We're talking about yellow is warm, pinks, like your olive tones, your yellow undertones, your golden tones, those are all warm, okay? The ones that are on peach, if they're ruddy, if they're pink, they're in the cool zone. Okay, it's pretty much divided. People who have equal amounts of those melanins, the pigment making system that you have in your body, if you have equal amounts of them, you can't. If you put them under a 45K light spill, you should be able to see the fact that they're neither warm nor cool. They just look like they're grayed out. They're just kind of not, I don't want to say grayish because that's really a wrong term, but they're just neutral. Not pasty.
I've heard that term. When somebody says, "Oh, I look pasty,"
That pasty is a result of being too light. It's not necessarily the undertone. It's what their value is in their skin, from alabaster to ebony.
So they need to be outside more.
Right. They need a little more.
Then they get ruddy.
Well, I hope I'm not confused. Am I confusing you? I don't really mean
Makeup
to.
artist worked early on with Gwen Eiffel, and Gwen always, you'd look at her and she'd walk into the studio, she'd sit down, she'd be gray. I'd go to video and go, "Can you fix that?" And she said, "No, it's the makeup."
Yeah.
This person could not make up Gwen, so she's no longer doing Gwen, and now Gwen looks great.
Well, here's the thing. Has Gwen had her undertones and top tones read? Because once she's been, yeah.
But she does
Well-
go to the blue, or her face looks blue.
Well, but you're in a Sony camera too. Sonys are what? Sonys pull to the cold side. Sony is a cold camera, and it will pull on the reds. It will vibrate on the darks. Is that not true? Am I wrong,
You
or
know,
that's been my experience?
the video gentleman who does Al's not. Al's gone.
For if you had to categorize, because another thing is you really do have to know the cameras that you're working in. Sonys pull on the cold side and they vibrate the red. They're kind of notorious for that. At least, I don't know about the bigger studio cameras. I don't work that much with live broadcast cameras, but I know in recording that they tend to pull on the cold side. Your Panasonic cameras are inherently warm. They are the nicest ones to work with because they're very friendly to skin tones. So if you have a neutral person and a cold person, they're going to just look organically better in Panasonic. JVC is kind of a mix. So I make it a point to really...
Make cameras?
That's bad! Are you saying they're the bastard child on the block?
Hitachi.
Well, and of course, here's another thing, the red cameras. I've been working a lot with the reds. And, well, the red is more of an editorial tool than it is a recording tool because of, the 4000K in it. But if you know beforehand the camera that you're going to be working in, then you know that you have to, you know what you're going to be battling in the monitor. Because if you've got, let's say, if you have mismatched this gentleman, let's say he's neutral, and the makeup artist.
I don't know what I am.
Huh? I'm
By winter,
well,
summer.
this is not full spectrum, but I can tell you there are clues. Okay, there are definite clues. So
This is probably just around 3,000.
so it's going to be still. You're not going to have the blue and the green rays really
That
kicking
one's
off.
probably 32.
Okay,
Next
let's
time
look at
I
that
think
one.
it
Yeah,
would be
because you're not going to be kicking off. You're going to be kicking off more of the red and the yellow. Okay, so let's look right here. This is the first clue. So to read skin temperature, and what I tell my students, because it is a learned process over many years. I mean, I can pretty much nail it the first time around.
Pretty long lifeline there.
Yeah. No, but typically when I read on my female talent, I'll kind of take a general look from right up the arm, up the shoulder, up the neck, and up the side. Okay, this is kind of my little system. But what I have found to be probably 98% foolproof is if you look at the color of the veins. All right? If the veins look and appear green to the surface, and I always do the inside of the arm because that's the part of the body, the visible body, that gets the least amount of sun. So you're going to be able to see it a little more clearly. So I'm going to take a look, and he has green. Okay? They're pretty much on the green side right here, as I can see from this light here. If I had a direct spill on you, I would be able to just nail it, just like that. If the veins look like they are on the blue side, chances are they're going to be in your cool spectrum, okay, which means they're going to be more ruddy, they're going to be more fair, that kind of thing. If they are neither blue nor green, but they're kind of a blue-green kind of color, they're neutrals. Neutrals are the ones that are, neutrals and warms are the ones that are pretty easy to identify. So that's the first thing you're going to look at. And then you're going to kind of take a look at the area of the skin around it. And it's going to, even though he's a little on the pale side, he still is picking up. He's definitely on the warm side, most definitely. And as I look right here, and I look right here, and I do see some yellow pigmentation that's coming up from the top. He's just very, very fair. He's just a very, very fair guy. Fair-minded guy. And he is the majority. The majority of the population is warm undertone. Okay, that is the majority. The second prevalent undertone is neutral. And the problem with makeup artists today is that we have a whole generation of makeup artists that have never been taught to read neutral. This is where they get into trouble when they're trying to match undertones. And we're talking about foundational products. We're not talking about eyes, lips, and cheeks, that kind of thing, you know, the decorative colors. We're talking about the foundation colors. Because if that's not matched correctly, and you've got a vibration going on, and he's reading peach, or he's reading orange, or he's reading, it just throws everything off, everything else off. And you're going to see this really bad line of demarcation from here, you know, if they haven't carried the makeup down, even down on the hands and around the ears and all that kind of thing. So you really want to be sure that your foundational products are matched correctly. And the way that you do that is that you at least have, and I recommend, a 45 Kelvin temperature. Like I'll put a quarter blue on a tungsten, and I have that, I carry that with me to every set. I will have that little low pearl light, and I'll just throw a quarter blue filter on it, and I've got 45K to read the skin. So I'm reading skin perfectly, regardless of what my ambient light is. Okay, I need enough of that pure spill on him that doesn't have any light interference. The second best thing to do is to take him to a window that has sun coming in. Okay, those are the two best light sources. If you don't have those light sources, your makeup reading is going to be way off, and you're just going to be battling it uphill. All right? So do I have any questions so far?
But if you use those light sources to determine what the best makeup is for the person, when they go under the real lights, which might be 3200, it'll work.
They will be smooth as glass.
It'll work, okay.
Absolutely. Yes?
Why is African American skin difficult?
Because they're multi-toned. Okay? And typically when I read, look at African American skin tones, I'm seeing no less than 3 different colors. I have never seen an African American skin tone that was one color. Okay? And we're talking about we're talking about the top tone. That's what you see, not what's underneath the skin, but what you actually see, the value, how light or how dark. You might see that in African American skin tones, a lot of times I see that they're very different. They're lighter in this area here. They're darker around the perimeter. And what does that tell you? You have to meet those tones. You can't go and pick one color and just color their face in, because what you will do is you will take out the levels of their face, you will take out the architecture of their face, and you might end up making them look like ash. And you cannot. You have to read value of temperature first, which is how warm, cool, or neutral they are. Then you read the value of their skin, and they might be multi-toned. Now, I'm not talking about issues that have, like, if they have rosacea or a pimple or something like that. I'm talking about the true patterning of the pigment in their skin. A lot of the times, everybody can be evened out with one or two colors, but it's a technique that you have to learn how to do, and it's a whole nother story. If you really want a professional job done, leave it to a makeup artist. All things being equal, and one woman is more attractive than the other, who's going to get the job? It's just the way it is, and it's very highly revealing.
Now, film, right, has always had this potential. Right? Film is higher resolution than HD, or at least as high. Did you have the same kind of finesse that you had to deal with in film, or it hadn't worked out that way?
Well, I've been out of film I stopped doing film about 20 years ago.
Right, okay. Just as general principles, though.
Well, in my career, they were pretty much perfect to begin with. Okay. The only issues we had to deal with is if they partied all night and they had, bags, and I mean, we had these typical issues to deal with, but generally, film stock has just changed the way over the years with cameras. I mean, it all depends on the kind of film stock. They will change film stock for one particular actress and she'll be lit completely different compared to the rest of the scene. So you have a lot of issues and star demands that you work with.
I was thinking more just the simple issue of the amount of detail that you're going to pick up, and therefore the makeup has
depends
to be
on
subtle.
the close-up too.
Yeah.
You know, how tight the shot is. I mean, some people will only allow so far. There's so many variables. I mean, we could be here all day, talking about film, but generally when you have a star player in a film, there's certain parameters that you have to film them in.
Right.
And certain makeup techniques and certain things that the rest of the cast, don't get involved in. So, but anyway, so what I wanted to do, though, is I wanted to demonstrate to you the simplest makeup that anybody here could do, because what everyone here, whether you're working at a station or if you've been tasked with toting along some powder or whatever, you can make a complexion look pretty clean for camera if it's left up to you to do. So this is what I wanted to show you, is the technique that I use. The first thing you want to do is you want to well, we're going to do half and half right here.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, are there any questions before that I can answer before I go on? Or yes?
I'm that one that has to tote and just fill in.
You're my girl.
I'm that one.
Good for you. This is great.
But when I do it right on the set that we're on, so I
That's okay.
see them in their light. I don't.
Yeah.
Does that make any difference?
Only the monitor will tell you if it does or not.
Okay.
If you are one of those people that I just have to pick something and do it, because you can tell how light, medium, or dark a skin is, right? So my recommendation to you is you can't fail with a neutral powder, because it's not going to vibrate on the cold side, and if anything, you want them to look either better than they are if they're a little bit on the yellow side. If they are on the yellow side, the neutral powder isn't going to kill that. Okay, and if they are on the cold side, the neutral powder isn't going to make them look stronger in their ruddiness or their coldness. So,
is that good for ethnic skin too? Neutral's not going to necessarily.
Well, when I get into ethnic skin, what I do is, and the reason why I like this line so much is because they have all of their powder colors. These are all skin tone colors, okay?
What is that line, by the way?
This is called Graftobian, okay? And they have a warm palette, a neutral palette and a cool palette right here.
What's the brand?
It's called Graftobian, Graftobian. Now, I happen to use their cream, when I'm doing a female makeup, I happen to do their cream foundations. I'll do a full makeup. But you can see that they have all the colors from the very, very lightest color all the way to the very, very deepest, darkest one. And these are all categorized. These are all the skin colors in warm, skin colors in cool, and skin colors in neutral. Okay? So the work in reading temperature has been done for you with this company. All you have to worry about is the value. That's all you have to worry about, is how light or how dark. And even if you're one of these people that, and as you get a little more practice with it, if you're the one delegated working with the powder, this is actually going to make your job easier, because you're going to be able, if they've got different tonalities in the skin, well, there's nothing wrong with picking up a color in that palette to tap those areas that are different tonalities, and then just slightly blend them together, and then you're good to go. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to do one side right here. And this is something that if you don't feel comfortable even doing powder, then go with Liquid Shine Eliminator. And I will say Bloomberg Television buys this by the hundreds from me. That's the secret. Because I have an online store. I'm retiring from film and television, and I'm going to get more into teaching. So
What is that called? Liquid?
It's called Liquid Powder Shine Eliminator. This is one of our, and you can buy this at paintandpowdercosmetics.com, which is our store. That's my next retirement. But I will just show you right here the reason why it is so popular, because they're not the only ones, but I just shared that with you just for the heck of it. It comes in a cream, very easy to handle.
Where's James O'Neill with his camera?
And-
I should get a picture of this. My girlfriend will get a kick out of it.
Turn right here.
This way.
Up, up. I'm sorry.
Oh.
You get to hold it, okay? Now, when you get to bald skins, the baldness in the top of the skin is different skin than the rest of the face. It is completely different. So, I do what I call my two-step right here, okay? Is I'll let one of it dry, one layer dry, and then I'll go back and do another one. But typically, I've been known to if I just have like 10 seconds with a talent, and this is all I can do, this is what I apply. And then, boom.
So we should get rid of the dulling spray cans?
Yeah, I stopped using it when I got this.
Masking tape.
We still use them.
But don't put this on your car.
So you can even put this on the face if it's very shiny.
That's what I'm saying. This is gospel.
It's like a base, right? It's just a base.
It's a colorless anti-shine. Now I have a thing that I call my secret sauce when I have really, and I do a mixture of a serum and this as well. But I just wanted to show you, and this dries clear. And oftentimes, this is all I'll have time for. But at least, something is better than nothing. Because there's nothing more annoying on camera than to see, especially right up here, you know, you have this feedback here, you have this feedback across here, you've got feedback here. Especially when they're lit that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so,
Question.
yes.
Face the camera at some point.
A second, you're fine.
Last October, November, and I'm not a makeup artist, I'm just a tech. I had a person who had lost family members in 9/11/01
Uh-huh.
and had bags under his eyes.
Oh,
I lied and told him he looked fine. Is there something that can
no,
be
you can't
done
take,
with a person like
you
that?
cannot take down texture, I'm sorry. You can take down discoloration.
No,
You
that's
can,
not what-
but you're talking about bag texture,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
No
Yes.
way. Only surgery.
Okay,
Nothing you can do. We are makeup artists, not magicians.
right. Thank you.
And I mean, if I've seen so many demonstrations, well, here is how you conceal it, or here, I'm almost done, I just want to put a second. You cannot disguise it from camera. It's impossible, because it also depends on how they're lit. Now, if they're lit from underneath and they've got light coming this way, you can kind of diffuse it that way to soften it.
But that's
Which
lighting,
is-
not makeup.
But sometimes that's what you have to do.
Right.
I mean, and this is what I'm thinking about the LED lights. I know that there's a production that's a live broadcast production down at that uses those just right below the desk where the guy sits. They use those LEDs.
Hopefully, it's not somebody who's Italian.
I don't know, but that's
Because they move their hands around when they're talking.
yeah,
There's shadows under their chins like crazy.
Well, that's just what I've heard. Okay, so let's have a look here. Right here. And first,
Okay,
I'm
you
going
gonna
to
pull out
show
the
in.
background?
I'm going to just show in camera what this looks like first before I put the powder on. Okay? So he's powderless. So you want to turn around, and take a look.
Ready for my close-up, Mr. Healy?
Some people focus, and the different camera people focus on the lips. Generally, we do the eyes here.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Okay, look straight in.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Okay.
So right here,
You
this
look
side
straight
right
at the
here.
camera. Yeah.
See that side right there?
Now, I've
Okay.
got, I
Right there.
turn that light out. This is unfair to you because
Oh.
you'll never, there's that big blonde one up there. Let me get rid of that. That'll help a lot. I only turned that on to help you with the makeup.
I'm going to send you a couple of shots.
This was gonna suggest, so generally it's not.
Yeah, I don't know where James went.
So this is just stage one, right here, where I have, and like I've said, I've got a couple of layers right here, and by putting a couple of layers on his head right here is going to allow the powder to really do its job.
Two-Face.
So you look in there, all right?
I can't really see it because then I turn, it goes off the other end.
All right, do you see the line? Do you see the line?
Strip on the other side so he can see. Look at this side of the shed.
But do you see the line from where he's matte? Okay, this is, let me just do one right here on this side.
Very shine on the other side.
Let me do it right here.
It's like an oil slick.
Yeah, I do that.
Okay, there you go. You see that?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. This is your secret weapon. No makeup kit should be without this. So this is like the gospel
What is it?
thing. It's called Liquid Powder Shine Eliminator by Natural Born Cosmetics. Okay.
For those times when you're feeling a little shiny.
Yeah, I'm going to get some.
Okay, do you see where you've been matted down right on that side? Right? Okay, so now I'm going to go in and I'm going to
There's also a little sort of discoloration.
I just slapped you down, bro.
That's like liquid gold she's trying to put on your whole head.
No, I need to know how much it would change the skin tone.
Turn around. It doesn't change the skin. It's clear.
Blends in perfect.
It's clear.
It's exactly the same tone.
It's showing a halo there because, yeah, it's supposed to show a halo because that's where you're matte. It's showing the matted,
What you're saying. Okay.
the matteness of your skin. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, okay, now I have, let's say, I've got a minute to do this guy's makeup. Okay, 30 seconds here, 30 seconds here, and I'm done. So turn around, and let's do you this way.
You want that other light back on, or are you all right?
No, I'm going to be fine. Yeah, I'm fine right here. So, like, I could send him to set like this because he is matted down, and let's say he was late, you know, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, he's got to get on set. Okay, well, at least I've done that, and that is better than nothing, right? So now I have a little bit more extra time. So what I do, and this is another little secret that I do, is I'll take 2 different colors, like that, and I'll go in and lay this down. I never use just one color. I'll use 2 side by side like this, because that allows me to not have it allows me to blend down the color better.
What are
okay?
you actually trying to achieve here? I mean,
I'm trying to
better than he really did.
trying to matte his skin down so that his complexion looks cleaner.
I thought you'd taken the shine off pretty much with the shine on in the makeup.
Yeah.
Doesn't that, then it looked to me as though on the monitor, as though it looked like he really is. And why do you want to change it for that?
I want to make his complexion a little bit cleaner. Just a little bit cleaner.
Now, what do you mean you want to make him better than real?
I guess you could call
Less
that.
variation.
Is it an evening out process? as
Yes,
opposed to,
yes it is. It's an evening out.
Why do we do that, particularly say for a news item?
Why do we do this? Because the cleaner you can make the complexion, the easier it is going to be to light him from different angles. As far as
The happier
And
he'll
another
be.
thing is too, back in, if you want to go back to, let's see, the real
Turn around,
old
babe.
days in Hollywood where they had big lights and they had a lot of flags. And then the art of lighting was actually the art of flagging, to keep light from going where you don't want it to.
Right.
Now, if he's out here, I don't have the time and we can't hang a bunch of
And you could do
flags
this
that are
on
gonna
set.
be in the way. So it's always been done. It's the elimination of light from places where you don't want it.
So I understand.
Plus,
And
if he had
any-
flaws on his skin,
if he had
I mean,
flaws.
she would want to be touching up that, you know. if he had
Here's the thing,
acne and-
and this I think will help answer your question, sir.
Yeah.
He has some discoloration right here. Okay, even though he is matted down, I want to take care of that discoloration. This powder is going to smooth that out. You see that? Just the simple addition
Then he looks
of
more
the powder. I'm more porcelain, that's good. That's what we like to talk about. See, it's gone. So I was able to hide that little bit of discoloration that he had right here underneath this powder. So what does that give me? A cleaner complexion. And he's going to look cleaner on camera. And you're going to see the difference. You're going to see even, oops, sorry, another,
You're supposed to be holding that.
you're fired.
I am the talent.
Oh, man.
Excellent.
Already.
It's going to my head.
Yeah.
But this, you're saying this is significantly less makeup than you might use, that
Oh,
you
yeah.
would have used.
Yeah, you're not going to be able, this is not going to read
This
on
is
camera.
subtle.
This is very, very subtle. But I was able to bring this redness under, and it's gone. Because you had some discoloration
No
going
doubt.
right there. Now, I can't do anything about the beard, but, you know, it's the way it goes.
That's the way I like it.
Okay, so now, another little trick that you can do if you have more time, and this is what's great about this palette, is that I'll go in with a little bit darker color right here, because I've actually hit him with these two colors right here, and I will go in and add some little bit of skin tonalities to him.
Just work to take it out.
No, this is
These
the
are
finish.
points.
These are like
What
little
about
fin-
contouring?
and
Like, are you,
contouring is a whole, that's a whole
Right.
class. In HD, what I just mainly do is I'll just kind of slide right here as I'm doing this. Just slide just a little bit. You have to be really, really careful because contouring has to look like it bends with the skin. It can't look like a chisel. Too many people don't know how to do this, so we bend it. We have to bend that. Okay? So I'm going to just put a little bit right here, and then I'm going to just add a few little more skin textures with this color. See? So he doesn't look like a monotone. Okay? And this is actually from my special effects days. You know, you have to, when you try to do somebody in the third dimension, you have to really bring the believability factor back. So,
Well, when you're
so we
done
have-
with Eric, I'll just
Okay.
I'll show you a little difference in how the lighting
Okay.
makes, how we
all right, let's have a look at you right here. Oh, don't squint, don't squint.
So we haven't like hit the back of his head, so that backlight issue that we constant with. I'm not the.
Okay, well, we can-
By the way, I'm master control operator, I'm camera operator,
But you-
everything,
but
but
so
somehow
you're
people
looking
be
at
able
it
to
all
Okay, go right
keep-
ahead.
I always have to do the
Yeah, you're
powder
looking-
because everyone's afraid.
Wow, that is really nice.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we took care of, you see, he's not reading makeup. He doesn't read makeup at all. But what do you see? You see a smoother complexion. You still see the character in his face. You still see his characteristics.
I think he looks younger on one side.
Now what I do, because some of the problem areas is after I get the makeup on like that, if I have more time, and this is when I do on touch-up, is I will go back to this powder right here,
Over top of it?
Yes. Okay. Let's say, and the nose is really, and the upper lip is really some of the problem areas. And you can...
You're blotting the whole time. I'm sorry, real quick, right? You're blotting each
Right.
time you're
I'm
applying.
blotting, exactly. Okay. And I'll go in and I will blot with that before I touch up. And see, it really, really helps a lot. And I'll do the same here. Blot and
You can put
powder.
that over top of
You
the
can
powder.
pat it on top.
Make it look
Yes, you
pretty.
can. But you got to be real judicious with
They need
it.
you at Channel 9 for Derek McGinty. When he does this.
Yes.
And really, from a lighting standpoint, if the makeup's not there for the person, you just kill their backlight, and they don't have one.
Right.
It's better for them not to have a backlight, I think, than
Are you
have.
saying you don't try to do anything about 5 o'clock shadow with makeup anymore?
You can't put neutralizer on. It will look like an orange streak because it's typically blue in the beard. I don't do anything about it anymore. I try to give it, especially with men, remember, I only have 18% saturation I could put on his skin. And that saturation has to cover whatever. Some men have a very, very heavy beard and they have to shave like 2 or 3 times a day to get rid of it. And chances are, if they're one of those people, then they got to shave before they go on set, before they come to makeup, to make that as clean as possible. But gone are the days when we could hide those very, very heavy beard lines
Do you
in
find that
HD.
people, can they shave adequately with an electric razor, for example? or
No.
Do you require a blade?
Blade. Blade. And honestly, if you are shaving with one of those quads or quint razors, get rid of it because I see so much skin irritation from those quad blades. Men are tearing their skins up so bad. And I tell my men talent, because I can spot it a mile away. I mean, there's this irritation that only comes, there's a certain kind of irritation that comes with it, and it's terrible. You're better off shaving several times a day than you are with these quad things and tearing your skin up. I would like to shoot Gillette.
They haven't put
Well-
enough blades in yet. Get up to 7 or 8 blades in. It's perfect.
I am telling you, you might as well take a switchblade and just... Okay, so you see here, I'm just showing you the...
I'm dying to see this. Can you slide the monitor that way a little bit?
Sure.
I'm putting some more up here on top right there.
Yeah.
Turn right there.
What you put on before.
Look straight into the camera. All right, look there. You see that? Just
That's got to be done in the control room, and
give this guy a skin chip. And you know, after it's all said and done, you know that the skin chips are evolving, right? Like, I will personally tell you that I will request that the skin chip be turned off because it messes with my makeup. I always, talk with the DP. I find out, are you guys using skin chips? A skin chip is an electronic means of smoothing out, retexturizing, recoloring the face.
Photoshop in HD?
No, we're talking about in the camera.
In the
In the camera.
It's
Is
a
that in addition to
detail.
when they do the color chips? When they do the chip chart, then they do this
No.
in addition to?
It's a bad use of the word chip. It's
Oh,
the
okay.
circuitry in the camera
Yeah.
that can take out some of
Isolate.
the detail in the face.
Oh, so it's not the same as when you stick your...
It isolates the face. It isolates the face is what it does. It just focuses on the face. It doesn't change the scenery, doesn't change clothing, it just isolates on the face. And I noticed that they're using, that the HD cameras definitely do have them, and they are using them a lot. And where you see this a lot, CNN.
Is that what
Who else? Who else? Who else looks porcelain?
CNN is.
All these blonde, blue-eyed anchors.
Alice made files.
So,
our
if we
video
haven't
guys
converted to
are-
HD, this stuff seems pretty useful all around. I mean, these products.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
that stuff again?
This is called Liquid Powder Shine Eliminator.
And it's just
Okay.
all natural. What was that?
Natural Born Cosmetics, and you can buy it at paintandpowdercosmetics.com. That's our store. So yeah, ours is the only one that has it.
Would you get that? I just want to change the
Enough
lighting a
data.
little bit.
Yeah.
He's looking in the camera.
And let me just finish him up here real
And
quick.
then,
So as you can see, what did I do with my? Let me just finish it up right here.
I like the way that looks better than the MAC stuff that we have.
Who said the dirty word Mac? I'm sorry.
Max, but MAC.
She said dirty word Mac.
did.
That's what she meant.
Well, you know, it does cover
What?
well. It works, but I like that stuff.
I'm thinking
It
Macintosh
depends on,
computers, like, great.
depends on how you see it, I suppose. Now, again, so there we have him pretty well matted down, would you say?
Very good.
Okay, look in
Excellent.
camera.
Outstanding.
There he is. Check it out. Because now he is lit a little hot with the lights
yeah.
there. So if those were turned down, and you said you were going to kill the other ones?
Yeah.
Okay, so we could
just,
see?
Can you step out from the...
Yes, I will.
And then, Eric, you have to look straight in the camera. And this is with the guest lighting up, and it's got a lot of the fills as well. There are a couple fluorescents on either side, and the backlights are all up. So I'm going to kill the lights for the guest, and
me see
just
this real
be
quick, sweetie.
the lights for Eric. But
Let me just get a couple of spots right here. Okay. Okay, now he does not look like he's wearing makeup, does he?
No.
Okay, so you can do exactly what I did. This is not rocket science or brain surgery or anything. You saw how I did it. If you only have time to do the matte cream, the anti-shine, it's better than nothing, right? It is totally better than nothing. And if you have time to go in and do the powder, this is a wonderful dual finish powder, and it just makes life so much easier for the talent on camera and for you. So there's no reason for you not to have an anti-shine kit, all right? And he just looks great,
He does look good.
all right? And that was easy.
Under his arm, it's fantastic.
That's a whole, yeah, but that's a whole nother thing. I didn't even address the eyes. I was just like, this is run and gun. And a lot of times, I'm sorry?
Kind of bags for his chips. Lines that are
it's just for on air.
Right,
It did
right.
before, just what you did right
I know
here.
it's on.
Right,
Between the two eyes.
right. You can see the difference.
Well, there's a cue, the director's...
But see, the thing is why he was so good was you were able to see what to do with that bald head. And that is really hard for a lot of makeup artists because they don't understand. You're dealing with completely different texture skin. It's not the same as the face. The hair on the bald head is completely different.
What about a not completely bald head, but very sparse hair? Just
You can still go in. You can still go in and use the liquid powder shine eliminator because it dries clear.
Okay.
That's what I do all the time.